Nolan, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, guys.
Because we gotta keep talking about this film because it's still living rent free in my head. So after this
Yes, sir. Is
episode, I will be sending you my doctor bill. So
Yeah, this
because
one bothers
Jason,
me too.
that right?
I
Yeah.
stare out the window and wave.
Scared,
I keep
scared,
yeah,
waiting to
scared
see
both
if
of
I
you
see.
guys. Scared both of you
Yeah, see if
guys.
I see anybody waving back at me.
Yeah,
if I see a child to wave at child, I
yeah,
got it.
yeah. You know that
Yeah.
that's actually my child. In
Is
the
it
movie.
really?
Oh,
Yep, yep,
okay.
yep,
All right. I was
yep,
gonna say that was one of
yep,
my questions. Who,
yep,
whose
yep.
child was
So
it,
it
and how did
wasn't
you?
so it wasn't a random child. Got it.
No, she was having a
I thought it
blast.
was
She
random.
was she was having a blast, and she thinks it's pretty cool that they use her picture, in a lot of the reviews and stuff. That's like one of the more popular screen grabs that people use.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
I noticed it in the teaser on YouTube. It's right at the end.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was because when he sent me the teaser, I was like, I didn't see anything about this film. I didn't see anything about it until one of my friends reviewed it and
Yeah,
quickly shot me a message. And
Yeah.
they were like, "You need to talk to these guys." I'm like, "All right." So I shot Jason a message, and
yeah.
that's when he shot me a screener.
Hell yeah.
And and I was like, "This movie is fucking wild."
No,
It,
yeah. It's been surreal. I mean, it's been a really positive reception so far. Knock on wood. I'm sure that there's going to be some haters here pretty soon as it's getting seen more. I mean, that's inevitable, but so far I'm really really pleased, and it's let me meet some pretty cool people, to be honest. So
Oh yeah.
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 So one of my questions for you is, how did you and Jason just link up and start making this?
So so we both live in Indiana, and I'd been doing I did comedy film, right? So I did mostly comedy stuff, like kind of like absurd stuff like Tim and Eric or Eric Andre kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
like very out there. Um, and a buddy of mine who I still work with, he'd moved to Delphi, which is near Lafayette, where Jason lives, and he went and caught the like a screening of his film Straight Edge Kegger, which was like
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that one, but yeah, it's
Yep.
a punk rock slasher film, kind of like home invasion type movie. Um,
Hmm.
and I grew up with punk rock, and as it happened, I had just written, because I would just write screenplays for fun. Um, but I had just written this punk rock slasher screenplay, and so I reached out to him on Facebook and I said, "Hey, I was really impressed with the trailer. I'm excited to see this movie. I feel like you're someone that I'd really like to know. I want to send you my screenplay." Um, and Yeah, he was really gracious, and he read the screenplay, and he made it very clear up front that he didn't have any any kind of like money to make something on that scale. It was like it would have been like $100,000 to make this movie at least. That's like making it on the cheap.
Wow.
But I said no. I wanted somebody else to read my work and know that I'm here. Um, and I guess he just really liked the script, because it was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months later, he messaged me and asked me if I wanted to start working on a couple of scripts for him, and we've just been working really closely together ever since. Ironically, Looky-Loo ended up being a movie that had like nothing even resembling a traditional script. So
Yeah.
we started working together, I think largely because my scripts are usually, it's like a quick easy read, and I tend to keep them pretty tidy. um,
Hmm.
but yeah, now this was like a 20 page outline, and then a bunch of like added lists of just terrifying things he could do, like a shopping list, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a ton of research. But yeah, no, I mean, we've been working together ever since, and now he'll never get rid of me, and I'll never get rid of him. So yeah,
There you go.
we're a
Well, you
team now.
two, well, you two are something special with this film. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't say
Most
Yeah,
enough things
definitely.
about it, man. Like,
yeah.
I usually look for things to pick apart, but this movie's perfection.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't Can't pick this one apart.
You can't pick this one apart. I tried.
No,
Like,
no, there's nothing bad
Well,
about it.
oh well,
like
thank you.
from
Thank you. Yeah, I mean it's a weird film. I think it's weird that it doesn't have like dialogue. It's weird that there's not really like a clear plot. I think,
Yeah.
but those end up being the things that I actually, even though they were the biggest challenges I think in writing it, those end up being sort of the things that I like the most about the movie. That it kind of makes it feel more real. I feel like, how how he's not just chatting with people or laughing or doing all this evil. Yeah, like
The
you just
evilness.
get to see him doing the evil things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's realistic. We don't have a genre now to where it really hits home, and this film hits home, and it probably fucks with a lot of people, including us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely messed with me. Like I said, I check my doors. I definitely make sure, like I said, I'm looking out the window. It's like, all right, is somebody actually staring at me, or is there? Like I'm always like the lights on, and I double check, make sure there's nobody at the door, and then I close it. Then I'm like, all right, we're good. I can go to bed.
Yeah, it's like a PSA.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes people think.
I think it has made a lot of people think about safety and being being a little more vigilant about simple stuff. Lock your doors. Lock your doors. Don't leave a key out there. Draw your blinds, for God's sake. Don't at night. There's no you're not letting the moonlight in. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. Although I will say I've got 3 cats that I love to pieces. I did not mean for this to be such an indictment against cats, but everybody's right, man. The cats are pretty useless. In terms of
they're not attacking anybody.
Yeah, although this is actually kind of funny. Courtney, the actor, so she had a cat that was her cat, and that was her house that we filmed in. There's a really, it's in the making of. I think you get a shot of it, but he's supposed to it was a take where he attacks her or whatever, and the cat did jump up on the bed and start crying at one point. So the cat was affected. Cats aren't heartless. They're just
no. They're actually
just
very emotional.
Yeah, but they're not going to kick anyone's ass for you. So,
No.
Yeah.
So you may want to end up with a pit bull. Or...
Yeah, I feel like we're doing a lot for motion lights, ring doorbells, locksmiths. And the ASPCA or your Humane Society
is definitely getting some work out of it.
Yeah, adopt that dog.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do in part 2 at the end. We are sponsored by the SPCA.
Yeah, well,
Ring camera and a quick set.
It is a real thing. Serial killers that operate that way. When they plan ahead of time, if they see that you got a big dog, they're not likely to. They're much less likely to go for your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or they're gonna do something to your dog ahead of time. But hey, you've got a fighting chance with a dog. I think
cat.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They're
No.
just gonna
Probably
meow
not.
and be like, "You got
Probably
food?"
not. Yeah.
you got food? Feed me. You gonna
Yeah.
give me some food?
I mean,
Is it dinner time yet?
If-
Meow, nothing.
Yeah.
If that serial killer tries to give the cat a bath, though, it's gonna kick his ass.
Oh, yeah. That's
Absolutely
gonna be
wreck him. Yeah, wreck shop. Yeah.
So that's in part 2, right?
Yeah. In part 2, he's gonna get thwarted by a brown tabby. Yep, for sure.
A little demi cat is just going to cast a spell on him or something.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, Brandon, what you got for him?
So, what made you start writing movies in general?
I mean, I loved writing since I was a kid. I
Hmm.
remember being like 5 years old and trying to write my own comic book, and
Okay.
I kept doing that. Basically, like that was like my thing that I did, and I kept doing that until I got to high school. like
Damn.
Okay.
I drew and I did these sort of these comic book things. I don't have any of that anymore, but when I got to high school, it just somehow shifted to I want to write. I'm going to write screenplays, um, and yeah. So I started writing screenplays just as a hobby then when I was about 15 years old, and I can't think of a time in my life when I haven't been writing a screenplay, but since then.
Hmm.
So I didn't really have like a connection to make movies until until well one until I started making some of the short scripts myself, but
Hmm.
really until Jason, I had not really met a director that was keen to like to work on anyone else's stuff,
Gotcha.
and so um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a testament to just kind of sticking with your sticking with your dream way long, because it's only been a few years now, so I went, yeah, a good 20 years with nothing, and then yeah, I finally found, I think, a great partner to do this sort of thing with. But I mean, I started it with, I was interested in superheroes and just really weird comedy.
Hmm.
There were a lot of films that really resonated with me, that kind of like RoboCop is my favorite movie of all time.
Nice. Nice.
I just like
Yeah.
I love
I'm
RoboCop.
with that one.
I about had that movie memorized at one point.
Nice.
Just a beautiful film, So I don't know. I think it was I don't know exactly like what started it, but I really do think that my path to writing screenplays started with drawing comic books and just kind of making up stories when I was very very young. It's sort of a natural progression, I think.
And
Nice.
now you're writing stories about B&Es and serial killers.
Yeah, which is wild because I didn't write a ton of horror stuff.
Hmm.
Like I didn't write it at all. So to hear you say how scared it like legitimately scared it made you makes me feel like maybe I found my sweet spot now.
Oh, you
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you
definitely
definitely
did.
did.
Trust
Yeah.
me,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
because there is one scene in that film that lives rent free in my head,
Yeah.
and it is the box cutter scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
that
is
definitely. Yeah, that
the
that bothers me.
the s- the scene itself didn't bother me. It's just the sound effect that she made after the fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that sounds so
Yeah.
realistic, and it
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Just that was just
chills.
dirty. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I
Yeah.
did it with a box cutter.
So Casey is our sound designer, for well, he's for part two as well. He's so talented. He'd never done a movie before, which is wild.
Mm.
But two,
Damn.
a lot of people don't realize like almost none of the sound that's in there is the actual sound that like was like almost everything was designed and put it like it was pretty
Wow.
silent. So
Wow.
everything from like footsteps to the doors opening to like that was all made from scratch, by our sound designer,
Oh my god.
and voice actors. Like after I did the voice of the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all the breathing and the one line. But yeah, so like yeah, all of that sort of was put in after the fact. So I can't give him enough credit. Like that's that's some pretty amazing work. I don't think I could do that. To be
Yeah,
Yeah.
honest.
because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the sound effects
It-
alone creep me out.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the gargling of the blood and then the blood on the
Hmm.
floor. I'm like, this is an actual crime scene. Like, is this going to be Exhibit A in a court documentary? Like, I think that is what I texted him. I said, are we watching Exhibit A?
Hey, yeah. Is this like?
Like,
Is this actually happening?
You
Like
don't need
that?
an exhibit B. That's
no,
No.
exhibit A. I'd say
that's the thing.
that's a pretty good piece of evidence right there.
And then I texted him. I said, "Am I going to see like a video later? Oh, he was such a quiet man. I never
Yeah,
got
I'm
this
waiting
out
to
of
hear
him."
that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. You
waiting to
always
see
hear
that.
that. You always hear that. Yeah. No, I've done. I'm sure I'm on a list. I did a lot of research, but like, I looked at a lot of crime scenes and things like that. There were times that we would reshoot. We reshot once. One scene we reshot because I said that's not enough blood. There'd be way more blood. So
Wow.
we had to reshoot it and use like it was like a gallon or 2 gallons or something of blood. Um, because I looked at a real
That's a
crime scene
lot.
photo, you know what I mean? And I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
this actual person died in this actual way.
Mhm.
This is what it looked like. This is what it needs to look like in our movie too. And the most recent example of that was actually, it's more for part 2, but it was like blood splatter patterns and things like that. How it's like cast off patterns from a knife.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What that looks like. What does it look like if someone's in this position? So I had to find some photos. You know what I mean, and things to. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we really tried to be realistic, but it wasn't. At no point was it meant to be like like exploitative
Mhm.
or we're not like courting controversy or trying to like do anything like that. Actually, it's because we're making a statement about like true crime, about violence against women and everything. Like we felt like we
Mhm.
had to make it real. Like
Yeah.
that's our burden as the creative team to kind of do those things. So we did really work hard to make sure that for better or for worse, it's not bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think we're far enough in that you won't get demonetized for an S word, right? I'm sorry about
Mm.
that.
No,
No, you're
you're good.
Should have
fine.
said
You're
something.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody.
We've been talking about murder this whole time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. No.
No.
So, so the line is murder to shit. Is murder to
Yeah,
shit. Is
yeah,
it work? Got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Murder's fine, but don't say the S word too many times.
Then our podcast is going to be canceled tomorrow.
That's
Yeah.
Because
As much as we've talked about on this show, and
we've already been close to being canceled by
Yeah.
another major corporation at
yeah,
school.
There you
no,
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So,
we're good.
so the other scene that makes me laugh is when he breaks in and makes a sandwich, and then stabs her with said knife. Is the ultimate disrespect this year, I think, because
Yeah.
that is, well, for one, the killer used over $10 worth of
Meat
condiments on
and
the
everything.
sandwich,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm hoping that person wasn't going to have a sandwich for lunch tomorrow because that killer just ruined it for
Well, they're
everybody.
for sure not going to have a sandwich tomorrow for lunch. So
Yeah, because
yeah,
they ain't there.
they had their last sandwich. Yeah, I mean that's also real. I'm afraid that's also stuff that is the kind of thing that has happened where they find out that like, well, this guy like wiped out an entire family, but then he hung out. He hung out for a few days. He took a shower. He was watching their
Mhm.
TV. He was eating their food. He fed their dog. You know, like that's definitely happened. So I don't remember the
So he
specific.
has a little bit of human
Yeah, I mean,
instinct.
I don't remember the
Just
specific case that came from, but I do remember telling him make a sandwich. I said, get in there and make a sandwich.
Was he like, what the fuck are you talking about?
There were probably times when he was like that, but thankfully he didn't tell me. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I told him to, I told him he should try to do. It was really not like, it was kind of throwing things at the wall to see what stuck.
Mhm.
Stands out most in my mind. There's, but like when it sticks, it really sticks. Like with the mannequin, that like all of those scenes, I just gave him a long list of just like, do this creepy thing, do this creepy thing, do this creepy thing. The thing that really stuck was sniffing the mannequin. When he
Yes.
Yeah,
sniffed them,
that was like
that's a weird thing. That's a really
yeah.
really weird. It's a really really weird thing.
When he did that, I was like, is he really like sniffing the mannequin?
Sniffing
And
the
he was like,
mannequin. Yep.
I had to rewind it twice to make sure he did what I thought he
thought
did.
he did. Yeah. I was mind blown about that because I was like, that is weird that he's like making up this mannequin and then putting the bag over its head and doing the
Yeah,
whole.
yeah.
I'm like, this is something that is not normal
That's
for.
yeah. The mannequin. We were really lucky to have the mannequin. That was our special effects designer Arissa. So she owns that mannequin. That mannequin has been like a prized possession of hers, a piece of honored decor in her house.
Gotcha.
And so we borrowed the mannequin, and now she's famous. But no, Jeffrey Dahmer had an obsession with a mannequin. He had a
Yeah.
mannequin that he kept.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mannequin was like a happy. Was like that was like a big win for us to just have the mannequin kind of as a thing that we could use.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's rooted in truth as well. Yeah.
I was
I'm
gonna
making you
ask,
guys feel great, huh? Yeah.
the film didn't make me feel great, so it's right on par.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right on fire. It's all good.
I don't think I've ever watched a movie and watched somebody watch somebody through the window and questioning me if I'm the pervert in the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
watching it and it's like,
I'm watching it, and and the first thing this guy does is go to the underwear drawer, and I'm like, "Am I the pervert in here?"
Yeah.
watching him do that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people are inherently, though. I think, like by nature, we're a little bit voyeuristic. You know, that's why, like, you know, we buy, like celebrity gossip magazines or whatever. It's we want to kind of see. You know, I found out that this is actually pretty common, but like I like to look at like Zillow, like look at listings of houses or whatever, just in cities I've never been to, and be like, oh, this is a cool house. I wonder what it looks like inside of that house. And then I go through. You know, I'm not writing down the address. You know what I mean?
You're scrolling through the pictures though.
But
At
you're
least.
looking
Yeah.
through the
But you know what I
window.
mean? Like we're curious. That is a thing that all people have to a degree. And some people have it too much, but we've all got it to a degree. So yeah, we kind of hoped that would keep people watching and make people feel conflicted, a little conflicted while they're watching.
I was a lot conflicted.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't feel too bad. You shouldn't feel too bad because you didn't kill anybody. So, you know.
No, but I watched somebody else do it in the first person.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
And
yeah.
and now that you brought up Zillow, my wife does the same thing. Now I got to question her later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everybody still does that. Like they just
I
see
don't.
howses and
Yeah, they're cool. I like
Scroll
to be like,
through
what's
them,
a
yeah.
$25 million house look like on the inside?
look like
Yeah.
the inside of it.
I
yeah.
just want to see how do those people live? Turns out pretty well.
Yeah.
That's always the answer to everything that I research. Very well.
Although I wouldn't know how to be a normal person in some of those houses though, where I'm like this looks
Oh,
like
I
it
couldn't.
looks like a mall. It doesn't look like a house.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel a little odd. I feel like
12
some
bedrooms.
of them it's a little much.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
12 bedroom, 13 baths, and
Yeah.
3-car garages. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I know
There's a house down the street.
I'd only stay in one room of that house. You know,
That's it. Yeah, I wouldn't move.
Grand Theft Auto
There's a-
6 comes out, you wouldn't see me for like a month, you know, at
Yeah.
least, you know.
I'm just trying to make it that far.
I've been
Just trying to
warning
make it
people.
that
Yeah.
I've been warning people ahead of time. Like,
When it comes out, I ain't gonna.
as
You ain't
when
gonna
it
see
comes
me.
out, don't call the police. I'm not missing.
I'm just in my house. Leave me alone.
I'm just being stupid in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
That's all
I
I'm
think
doing.
everybody will be.
Yep.
When that comes out.
I already have plans. We're gonna have an old-fashioned land party here.
I'm so excited.
But
I'm so excited. Wait, no, where are you guys based out of?
We are in Maryland.
In Maryland. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Maryland once, and I don't remember the name of the. It was where the military base was, the Navy base.
Okay.
It's
Well,
either Aberdeen Proving Ground or Fort Meade.
I think it might have been Fort Meade. They had the railgun there, and I remember while I was there, they tested it. Yeah.
Yep.
I was in the Navy, so I was visiting a buddy. But yeah, they tested it, and the power went out.
Oh,
It, like flickered
man.
off. Yeah.
Sounds.
And I was
just
like,
the
what the
military.
hell was that? It's like a clear, perfect day. He was like, oh, they tested the railgun. It's like, oh. I was like,
Well,
okay.
thank you for your service.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
So
Like, That happens because there's another testing field base right around the corner from our house, and it's
Yeah, and they
every
test the
Tuesday.
cannons.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom. I'm
Yeah,
like, come on now, I'm trying to nap.
they're
At least
loud,
you
man.
know. At least you know they're just testing them. They're not actually using them for any purposes yet. So
Yeah, you would definitely know if they were using them. you would
yeah.
Trust me.
you would definitely know. Yeah, yeah.
So
I'll
the
tell you.
so the next scene, it is probably the best scene I've seen all year, and I've watched a lot of horror movies. So
Hmm.
this really fucked me up. Is the end where she's tied to the chair, and she has the camera
Yeah,
to her
Yeah.
face,
Yeah.
and the killer is showing her all the footage that the man took.
yep.
That is the ultimate flex by a killer that I've seen ever. Like, where did you get the inspiration for that last scene? Because I've never seen anybody do it.
I don't remember. I
Oh,
don't remember. We talked about the ending quite a bit, and I don't remember what sort of sparked it. I had a lot of time to think, and I spent a very long time where if I was watching something, it was about serial killers. If I was listening to something, it was about serial killers. If I was reading a book, it was about serial killers, or
Mm.
it was about like criminal profiling, or psychologically profiling serial killers. And it seemed like this sort of, serial killers are very grandiose sometimes. And that seemed to me to be like this extremely dramatic way of let's just show her, let's show her that she gets to, like, she was the star of my movie and look where she is now. You know what I mean? And that's why it
Hmm.
sort of cuts from not just the footage that he took and he's making her watch it, but then all of a sudden she sees her own face in real time on the screen. That's his way of saying what he's about to do to her.
Hmm.
That's that's very serial killer. That's very sadistic torture sort of serial killer behavior. So um, I don't know that it specifically came from anywhere, but I kind of was, whenever I was sort of writing or thinking about this, I had to put myself in the headspace of this serial killer, and like we could really write like a real psychological profile of this killer.
yeah.
So and you don't see all of it. You don't see all of it in the film. In fact, you don't see very much about like who he is and what he does.
Mm-mm.
But if you were a profiler, or if you like knew about that, you could watch the movie and you could write a psychological profile on the killer
Hmm.
based on the way he behaves in the movie. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty. I don't know if it necessarily came from anywhere, but I we knew how we were going to kill her. We knew how she was going to die, and I was like, well,
Hmm.
how is he going to do that one? Because she's important. She's important to him.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think it was just being in the headspace of the killer. I
Good
don't think
point.
we even had a different idea. I think that was always the idea of how we were going to do that. So actually, now I'm creeping myself out thinking about it. Maybe I should send Jason a bill too. I don't know.
Ah, there you go.
Maybe.
Because I thought it was going to end like I was thinking, like typical serial killer fashion. He was going to walk up, talk a little shit, and
Hmm.
boop, right in the throat,
And
and
done.
it'd be
Yeah, there
over.
you go. It's over. Yeah.
But
Yep.
the fact that there was a camera there too
To
Hmm.
record and
is
show her what he's
just
done.
Yep.
that. I think that was what fucked me up because I've never seen somebody do that before. Because I've seen a lot of serial killer shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, but I've never seen a movie do something original,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that was original to us.
Thanks,
Oh,
man. Yeah.
it's
Thank you.
very
Yeah.
original.
That's again. You've been really packing on the praise, but that's high praise because they've done a lot of crazy stuff in horror movies. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so that means a lot to hear that.
and we don't really talk about Hollywood over here because Hollywood is not where it's at right now. It's
Right.
Right
independent,
now, no.
Right. Yeah.
and I've opened his eyes with some
Oh
independent
yeah.
films,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and we've tried. We've watched Hard Eyes. We've watched.
Yeah.
It's just not for us. We
It's not.
strictly
Yeah,
do
it's not there.
Yeah.
we
right
want
now.
people to give independent films a chance and to give some praise where they deserve it because they're
Thanks.
doing it like
Yeah,
their own money, their own time.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
They're
guys are
just
putting
like
in
us.
the hard
Let's
work.
let's shine some light on these guys, and that's
Yeah.
why I reached out to you and Jason because you guys are kicking the horror's ass in Hollywood, if you ask
Yeah.
me.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I agree with you. I think that that's probably the main thing that I've heard. People who break into Hollywood, um, the thing that they miss about being an independent filmmaker is the creative freedom that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to continue to make the most of that, and I don't plan on selling out. Um, I'd be interested to hear how much they're offering,
Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't everybody?
but I don't plan on it. I plan on to continue making, trying to make a challenging films that are
Mm-hmm.
kind of thought provoking. Which that's a really
That's
generous way to talk about Looky-Loo, I think, but it's
yeah.
provoking.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like I've talked to like mad people about your film because I want these people to see your film, and one of my friends that
Mm-hmm.
is a diehard horror film went on YouTube and Looky Loo popped up, and he actually came to my wife and said, "What have you heard about Looky Loo?" And she said, "Well, here's a podcast my
Listen.
husband does.
yeah,
Yeah.
Uh, take a listen to it and watch how he talks about his film, and his film is phenomenal." And now he's going to buy himself 2 copies. So,
Yeah. There you go.
hell yeah, that's awesome.
the big question now:
Okay,
what can we expect from part two? Because
I was getting ready
you
to go
already
there.
got me wild up for the first one.
yeah.
What can we expect for part two?
So the first one starts at like a 0 or a 1, and it builds up slowly. I will say
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
part two starts at a 10 for sure.
Oof.
Wow.
Um, it is it is you're going to see a killer who is a killer and a filmmaker who's much
Mm-hmm.
more confident, who has learned a lot, who's gotten much better at what he does. Um,
Gotcha.
and it is definitely a ramping up rather than like slowing down. He's really ramping up. There's definitely going to be some unexpected turns. Um, and there's definitely some moments where I think we're continuing to sort of challenge convention in some
Mm-hmm.
exciting ways. Um, that I'm a little nervous about, but I'm excited to see if it hits. It's going to hit really really hard. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but if you
Yeah.
if you really like the first one, and it sounds like obviously you guys did, but
Yeah.
you're not going to be disappointed. And
Good.
if you watched the first one and you thought maybe it was a little bit slow paced, because it is slow. I mean, it's a slow burn film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have that problem in part two. You're not
Okay.
going to have that problem as much in part two. Um, you definitely get a better sense of where this killer is and what he's doing. That he knows what he's
Mm-hmm.
doing a
Yeah.
lot more now. Yeah. Yeah.
That.
So you're telling us we can expect this to be done this year?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All
For
right,
sure.
all right.
For sure. Yes. So we're about I'd say 3/4 of the way done filming. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's coming. I think we're gonna be mostly done in June. And obviously we may have some like pickups and things over the summer, and there's a couple of little incidental things that we've got to do. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be done with principal photography around June, July. Yeah,
Nice.
so
Oh, nice.
it's
Nice.
it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah, yeah. Might be late this year, but it'll be available, and we'll for sure send you guys a screener if it's going to end up being a long festival run and stuff like that. As long as you guys
Nice.
promise to,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
we'll let you guys
Most
see it.
definitely.
We'll let you guys
Just
see it
us
early.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only goes to us.
Yeah,
Just us two.
yeah,
Just
yeah, that's
well,
right.
him and my wife.
Yeah.
Those are only two people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Now, how long did it take you to write the second one?
The second one, pretty quick. It was honestly, it was fairly quick. I tend to work very quickly, but we had just finished part one. So while I was thinking about part one, I was also thinking about part two, and kind of like where it was going, because we always thought of this as a trilogy.
Oh yeah.
So the full story is 3 films. So
Nice.
I think, you know, once things had kind of like, you know, we had our cut together and we had everything kind of where we wanted it to be. I wrote the first draft of part two. You know, I sent it to Jason, and Jason really, really liked it. I wrote a different screenplay, a different horror screenplay as like a palate cleanser. And then I did another, you know, I would say I had that done in the first draft in a month or so. And that was just kind of working in my spare time. You know, I do write every day. But, you know, sometimes it's an hour. Sometimes I'll sit down and write for, you know, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. Cause I just get in a zone kind of. Yeah, with that one, it was fairly quick. But thankfully it's a traditional script. It's much closer to a traditional script anyway. It's not a bulleted list anymore.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. So yeah. Although maybe it should have been. I don't know. We'll see.
So is there plans after Looky-Loo for you and Jason to link up again and do something else?
Oh yeah. We're gonna work. Okay. We're gonna continue working together. We've we're just finishing a script that we're working on together for a different production. I'm probably gonna finish that. I might finish that tonight actually.
There you go.
And then we've got a somewhat more like dark comedy sort of horror film called Better Halves that we'd really like to do. There's a lot of projects that we've been sort of working on and writing. We definitely will be taking a break after part two, before we jump into part three. Just because it's a really dark headspace to be in all the time. So
I bet.
I think we've earned a little break, and also, you know, we made these films so close together, like basically one on top of the other. I think we'll have earned a break. I think we could let it sort of live with people for a year or two, maybe. You know,
then come back to it.
Yeah, and then when you least expect it, when you think, okay, you know what, we can't have a hide a key again, then we'll drop the teaser for part 3.
There you go. Make people start thinking
again. And you'll
again.
run outside and throw your hide a key away again. Yeah. Yep.
I'm not buying one now. Thanks.
No. We really had it out for the hide a key industry.
Yeah.
We got them.
Now they're not selling.
Yep.
Now that you said that,
a hide a
somebody's
key
gonna be
killed
like,
my parents. Yeah, so I'm getting revenge. Yeah. Yeah.
Now use that as a teaser for part 2. It's us against the actual hide a key.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. There you go.
The hide a key executives are going to be so pissed.
They're gonna send you a cease and desist.
They might.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
They might.
Stop putting our turtle on the big screen.
That's right.
It's always the damn turtle.
Yeah, it's fine. It's perfectly safe. Yeah. It is always the turtle. It is always the turtle, or it's under the mat. Everybody knows where to look for the hide a key. I think that's really what it is. If you had a really really good hiding place, you might be okay. If you have to bust out a metal detector, he's
to find it,
he's probably not going to find it.
You might be all right there.
Just dig it in your yard, and it's the one potted plant just in the middle of the yard is a key under it.
It's there. We know it's there.
Yep. Guess I'm getting a garden.
Yep. Have it set up like the idol in Indiana Jones, you know? Yeah.
As soon as you pick it up, it's a big thing of spikes that comes out and hits you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what are the chances of somebody stumbling on your film just in part two, and they're just going to go back and watch part one? Is there any like? Do you think that's going to happen a lot with a lot of people that they prefer part two over one?
Yeah.
Oh, do I think people will? I think some people might prefer part two over one. I right now, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there's such a natural progression. I kind of feel like it would be very difficult to say which one you like the best, or which one is the best, or that's all subjective. I do think probably people will see part two before they see part one, um, just because festivals. I really feel for festival programmers. When we sent out part one, we did get a lot of we got a lot of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
But we would get rejections with a qualifier like, "Hey, we loved this, but we had no idea how to program it," or, "Hey, you know, there were two people that did not like this movie, but the rest of us loved it. You know, please submit it in the future. So we will." But I also get that it's not for everybody.
Mm-mm.
Some people, I mean, I like to watch a horror movie with, Freddy Krueger, or something like that, where it's like I want to have fun. I don't want to be I want to be scared in the moment, but then I want to be laughing when I walk out to my car, after I leave the theater. Looky-Loo's
Mm-hmm.
not that movie. Like, you'll be crying on your way to the car. You'll be crying because you don't want to walk all the way to your car because you parked all the way on the other side of the, um, you know, so I kind of get that. I kind of get that. So I'm not sure. I do think there will be a lot of people that find part two before they find part one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think you could watch part two and pick up pretty quickly, kind of, what's going on. Especially because there's a lot more like background information, they're talking about him now, like on the news and on podcasts and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what he's watching. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's watching his own show. So you do pick up, just from in the background, sort of what transpired in part one and what it was. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
What got me the most, and I brought this up to Jason, I was like, your town where this was filmed is prime time to do breaking and
For this,
enterings.
yeah, because there's
Because there
nobody home.
is only like one other time where I see a car on the road.
yeah,
And he
yeah,
was like, we actually live in a small college town and stuff like that.
yep,
And he
Mm-hmm.
goes, yeah, around noon, you can get away with some shit over here.
yep.
Yeah, there ain't
And
nobody.
I'm like, that's not something I want to hear. It's
Hey,
like,
He had an experience. Yeah, his neighborhood is like that, though. It's like very walkable, and people would walk rather than drive, and but he had an experience. I'm sure he won't mind me telling this, but I think probably since he's been on your podcast, where he went out. He has a screened in porch sort of area, like a sunroom
mm-hmm.
sort of on the back of his house, and he went
yeah.
out there, and there was just a guy in there. There's just a guy just sitting there trying
What?
to steal his Wi-Fi, but he was just sitting there, made himself at home, and Jason he's like, I walked out
What?
there, I saw the guy, I walked back in, and I had to think about it, I thought it was maybe a buddy of mine or somebody fucking with me, but I was like, I don't know that guy. So he had to come back out and tell him to
go.
leave. Yeah, he said, hey man, you gotta leave. The guy left, but it's yeah.
I think he posted the actual footage on his Facebook. I think I saw that.
Yeah, he did post some
Yeah.
footage on Facebook. Yeah, but
It's weird.
but yeah, Jason made the movie, you know what I mean, and even
Yeah,
he's
so now-
susceptible to, you know what I mean, he'll forget to lock his door sometimes, you know what I mean, or
Yeah, you're not thinking about it all the time.
and
I
yeah,
think
people some people just have a screw loose,
No,
No,
yeah.
I think I texted him. I said, "Is he looking for a part in part two?"
Hey,
Never know. I mean,
yeah,
And then I think he texted back. I think he watched my film.
yeah. Well,
That was-
let's hope that it wasn't educational in the
on the let's
I can
do
do
this
it too.
type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I sure
Like,
hope not.
I remember I remember seeing that, and I texted him. I'm like, dude, that's fucking wild.
Yeah,
And he said
yeah,
he was just propped up, sitting in his chair. I'm like, that's
yeah. No, I would
Nah,
have freaked
I
out.
would
I'd have called the
have told him, hey,
police.
look, man, you got to go
I'm like,
right,
oh no.
right away.
Yeah.
one of the funniest stories he told on here was when you guys were filming the part one, and he's banging and he's filming. I forget what's her name through the window,
Yeah.
and the neighbors behind him are
Like
banging on their
watching it,
windows.
yeah.
That is fucking wild.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, if you were really a psychopath, I would have turned around and been like, y'all are next. After I'm
Yeah.
done here,
I'm coming
y'all
over
are
there.
next. And he's like, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well,
You don't want to creep him
it's
out too much.
surprising. It's surprising how often that didn't happen, though. I'm sure that people saw him. He's always. I didn't know this at the time, but like every time that like he was wearing the ski mask. I don't know why
Mm.
he was always wearing the ski mask because he didn't have to always wear it, but he was always wearing it. I think just because, like, in the off chance that he caught a reflection or something. So, like, he really looked like a serial killer with
With the
while he's
ski
walking
mask on
around
all
filming
the
this
time.
thing,
Yeah.
and people for sure saw him, but
Mm.
yeah, there were fewer fewer instances of people of like Good Samaritans or people trying to intervene than you might think. Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised that didn't happen every single time that he was filming through a window or doing. I'm
Mm.
really surprised.
I gotta give the man an A+ for wanting to look the part all the time though.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's
Yeah, you
really
yeah,
did give
getting
him
in
credit.
character.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
very in
yeah. Well, and
character.
he doesn't consider himself to be an actor either. But I said, I think you're doing it. I think you're really doing it. Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
it's
I think he said that to me off camera. I'm not an actor. I said, dude, you're in your movie. You're doing just because we don't see your face doesn't mean you're not an actor.
Nah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Uh,
he goes,
J-
I'm not an actor. I'm not an actor. I'm
no,
like,
Jason's the best. Jason, if you're listening to this, I love you, and you're a very talented actor. You're a very talented actor.
very talented actor.
Now, did he
You should be
want to
given
cast
awards.
somebody else?
No, we talked a little bit about me sort of doing a doing certain part because Jason is not like I mean he's like average build
Mm-hmm.
he's but I'm 6'4" and I'm over 300 pounds and so like
Same.
I'm not allowed to, if I'm digging at night that's probable cause I have to have an explanation.
Yeah, yeah. Because you're
Otherwise
so
the cops
tall.
are
Yeah.
allowed to tackle me. Like I
Yeah.
cannot dig a hole at night at my size. So yeah, just sort of the idea that he thought, I would be more, and I'm an actor. I went to school for theater. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, but he thought, I would be naturally more like physically imposing. But actually, I like the fact that the killer is kind of an everyman. He's not. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have superpowers. He's not
No.
like some freak athlete or, you know, um, he could be anyone. He could be your next door neighbor. He could be the guy that you buy your coffee from, or the dude at the stoplight next to you. That's what makes it scary.
Yeah.
He's not Jason Voorhees or Leatherface or
Yeah.
like he's Dave, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever.
He's the random guy.
Yeah, he's just a dude. Yeah, so yeah, I think that worked out, and I don't know. Maybe it's sort of grown on him a little more, but he's a very humble guy. He's
Mm-hmm.
I think he did a phenomenal job. I can't praise him enough.
I think he should do it a little bit more. I'd love to see
Yeah.
what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Same
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, you don't." I'm like, "All right, fine. I'm not going to argue with you." But
No, I've seen him do a couple of things. He is good. He is good. Don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you.
I
No.
don't think he likes talking about himself that much.
No,
No,
probably
I can
not. I
tell
mean,
that.
I don't know. I don't particularly. I don't know. There's a lot of people don't like talking about themselves. I don't really like talking about myself, but you know, you want to make movies, so you gotta talk about yourself. People want to know, and people want to, so people are interested, in those things. So yeah, he's got to talk about himself now.
Yeah.
That's the
Good
rule.
luck trying to get him to do that.
Yeah. All right. I'm making progress. We're making progress.
Well, you guys should be talking about yourself because you guys put out one of our favorite films of the year that we just talked about on our last episode. Man.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, 2 episodes, man. 2 episodes. I'm honored. Yeah, I really am.
I can't wait for part 2.
No, I can't wait either.
I'll definitely be keeping you guys posted on that. I'll definitely be keeping you guys posted.
I can't wait for it.
Because as soon as part 1 ended, my wife goes, "Where's part 2?" I said, "It's not been made yet." She goes, "Why not?" I said, "I don't fucking know."
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta talk to
Because it's
him.
hard. It's hard. It's hard
She
to
goes-
make these movies.
She goes, "This was just a tease. I want to see what happens." I'm like,
It is kind of a tease, though. It is kind of a tease. It's an origin
Yeah, because the
story.
way it
Setup.
ends,
Yep.
is set up for a second one.
Yeah,
And
We
he's
did
like,
that. We did that on purpose.
"I'm gonna make you a star." Yes,
Where do we go from here? It's like, it's all upside at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's where you guys leave us in the dark wanting more, and that's you guys are doing what Hollywood should be doing,
Thanks.
but they're
man.
not. They're not listening to us.
No.
Well, if you are listening, Hollywood, if you're listening, Hollywood, I won't sell out. You just try and make me sell out.
He's
just-
winking so
You
hard
just-
right
no,
now.
You just email me and make me an offer and see if I sell out.
Yeah. Whatever the offer might be.
No, but I'm excited to be doing this, man. And I think we'll be working together and putting out more stuff for a very long time to come.
Well,
That's good.
if I see your name and his name linked, you already got my money.
Yeah.
Trust
You
me.
already got me.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Well, thank you
I
guys.
can't wait.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah! Thanks for having me. Yeah, actually, this is ending just in time because I'm at 3% battery on this iPad.
No,
I was
good.
living on the edge today, guys. I was living on the edge.
I told Jason a couple of days ago when part 2 comes out, I'd like to have both of you on
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd love
so we
that.
can promote, start
Yeah.
promoting the film.
Yeah, we would love that. We would love
Wrote
that.
it.
You
Hell
guys
yeah.
are welcome back anytime you guys want, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if you ever
Door's always
want
open.
someone to come on and talk about any movie, I would be honored to come on and talk about whatever. Yeah,
Of course, doors always
a lot
open,
of fun.
man.
Hell yeah! All right, guys. Well,
If
thanks
you guys
for having
need,
me.
if you ever need anything from us, please let us know, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're friends now. I'm gonna definitely be checking in on you guys and seeing how you're doing.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
just don't check on me Monday. I'm having surgery.
I got. Oh well.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you on Monday on that.
Yeah.
Because this is the last interview I'm doing before I take a hiatus.
There you go. Well, you've earned it.
For a
Man.
couple days.
You've earned it. You've earned it. Hell yeah.
We will talk soon, man. I appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. Awesome.
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
thanks, guys.
Yep.
Appreciate you.